Hello everybody and welcome back. So very exciting, my video where I talk about my experience on the AIP diet is now my #1 video on my channel. It's really cool because when I made the video, I was hoping that people would see it, but because I had a bunch of different symptoms going on and it, isn't the average AIP diet, I didn't think other people were going to be able to fully connect with me, but I was honestly very surprised at the amount of people that are trying to do low FODMAP and AIP at the same time. I was just not expecting that many people to have, the same diet issues that I was having. And probably the top comment that I have gotten on that video are just, AIP snack ideas and where to find AIP foods and snacks and all that jazz. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about what some of my favorite AIP snacks were, and some of them I still eat now even though I'm not on the strict AIP diet anymore. I've kind of eliminated everything and reintroduced things back, and I figured out what irritates my body and what I can tolerate, so it's pretty narrowed down and pretty specific for me now. But I do have my journal from when I did AIP because I logged all of my meals and snacks and symptoms. So I have a lot of information in here. I didn't get super creative with a lot of my meals just because it was exhausting and it was very easy for me to make, like, a chicken thighs with broccoli and carrots. So a lot of my meals were like that, or like salmon with spinach, sweet potato fries and burgers. That's what a lot of my meals were. I'd make a lot of tacos with either the siete cassava flour tortillas or like a coconut wrap or coconut tortilla. So that's what a lot of my meals were. Now for snacks, I tried to make a lot of my own, but most of the time it ended very badly. I loved tiger nut flour when I was on AIP. It's really great for baking if you know what you're doing. I've tried to make tiger nut flour cookies just only using tiger nut flour, and that didn't go very well. I would definitely recommend using a blend of flours or finding a recipe that uses tiger nut, coconut, and cassava flour. Those were usually the recipes that I thought were the best. But yeah, many failed attempts at making snacks on my own. But luckily now there's a lot of different options of snacks that you can buy at a store or order online, and I just want to talk about some of those. So if you haven't seen my AIP experience video, you should definitely watch it, either before or after this one. And but yeah, if you haven't seen that video, then you might not know that I did do the AIP diet just the same as everybody else did, but I also did a low FODMAP diet and a variation of the GAPS diet. So what that means is I did the AIP thing just the same as everyone else. Yeah, no nuts, no grains, no nightshades, all of that. But I also did low FODMAP, which eliminates, certain fruits and vegetables on top of it. And then I also, for the first about month of my diet, all of my food had to be cooked. No exceptions. So I had no raw food, even fruit was cooked. So some of these snacks I ate at those beginning phases where I was eliminating all of those things. And then some of the snacks kind of go along with when I started reintroducing things, or I noticed that certain higher FODMAP foods didn't bother me as much, such as apples. I'm fine with apple, and I ate apples like a pretty good amount for my desserts when I was doing the duration of the AIP diet. Also, because I had so many more limitations added on top of the already restricting AIP diet, I did add back eggs like immediately. I think I tried to go without eggs for, 3 or 4 days, and my dietitian said, you know what? You can add those back. It's fine. I didn't have an egg sensitivity, so it was fine. But anyways, sorry about all that backstory. Let me just get into it. So the first snack that I had almost every day was bone broth. And I'm going to kind of show some pictures on the screen of the different bone broths that I had. These were the ones that were safe for me. I think the best choice to do is get an unsalted, unseasoned bone broth. It does not taste good. It really doesn't taste good at all, but you can add your own seasonings to it. Once I kind of figured out what my intolerances were, I could get, bone broth that was already seasoned and already salted, and I was fine with it. But especially at those beginning stages, you're going to want to add your own seasonings, especially because you're eliminating nightshades and you can't have black pepper. That's a really hard one to avoid. And if you're doing a low FODMAP, they usually add onion and garlic seasonings to the bone broth. So what I did is I would just get the plain unsalted, unseasoned one, and I would add pink Himalayan salt and some thyme and rosemary, and I would just kind of stir it around and then scoop, the herbs out, and that was pretty good. So that was something that I ate almost every single day. The next snack that I had were the Epic brand pork rinds. Just the plain pink Himalayan sea salt ones, because I'm pretty sure those are the only ones that were AIP compliant. But I loved those pork rinds. I'd never eaten pork rinds before. They just really didn't interest me, but when you're desperate for something crunchy and salty, you will take what you can get, and those were really good. I still eat them. I like the chili lime ones now that I can have a little bit more variety. Those are my favorite. Just the Epic food brand in general, I really liked. They make meat bars. I'll show those on the screen. Once I had a little bit more variety, I started to eat those because I'm pretty sure they're just normal AIP compliant, but they do have garlic seasoning and onion in some of them, as well as sometimes they mix fruit in them. I'm pretty sure there's one that has apples. So apples are a high FODMAP food. So if you are, really sensitive to that, just make sure you check the label very carefully. And then they also have meat sticks that are kind of like the Slim Jims, but without all the poison. I really enjoyed eating plantain chips. I had those a lot, either as a dessert or as a substitute for potato chips, and I really enjoyed them. I found that a lot of different brands kind of have their own flavor, so they're not all gonna taste the same. Make sure to get the ones that are baked in coconut oil, because that's one of the only oils that's AIP compliant. I'm pretty sure Sprouts has one. I think that's where I got them before. You can order them on Amazon. I forget if the Trader Joe's ones are AIP compliant. I think they are, but I'll have to double check. Also, another one of my favorite snacks slash desserts were the Dang coconut chips. I really loved those. Those were kind of my favorite sweeter treat that I could just buy. And I kind of lost my taste for them now. I think they're still really good, but when you cut out so much sugar and so much processed food than the average person eats day to day, something like that will be, the equivalent of like a giant slice of delicious cake after you haven't eaten sweets for that long. So I really love those. And I think people who have done the AIP diet, you might kind of know what I'm talking about. And then the last kind of desserty snack I want to talk about is I would get the coconut yogurt, and I would put in strawberries, and that was really yummy. I really like doing that. You can add Enjoy Life chocolate chips to that too, just depending on exactly what variation of the diet you're doing. I can't remember if cane sugar is allowed. I'm pretty sure it's not, but if you get a little bit further into the phases, you might be able to add the Enjoy Life chocolate chips. That makes it so good. And then when you can add back nuts, if you don't have a nut allergy, the Kite Hill unsweetened almond milk yogurt is so good. And I started eating that with either strawberries or raspberries, and the Enjoy Life chocolate chips, so good. And really quickly, I just want to talk about snacks that you can make really easily ahead of time, either to take to work or to just have on hand. So as far as just quick snacks, maybe even a meal might go. I loved making tuna salad. I loved doing that because, you know, it's really easy and it's pretty cheap except for the mayonnaise. And all the, most of the ingredients are AIP compliant. However, kind of like I said at the beginning, I did add back eggs. So that's why I could have mayonnaise. You can definitely make tuna without mayonnaise, but you know, it's not quite the same. Just make sure you check that the capers that you're using don't have any added seasonings or oils or anything, and then you should be good to go. Because I just put tuna, the avocado mayonnaise. I use the Chosen Foods avocado mayo. It's right here on the screen. Lemon, dill, yeah, and that was a really good snack. I also made cinnamon apples when I really wanted something sweet. That was probably one of the best desserts that I made. You know, it's just apples, cinnamon, and then I sweetened it with maple syrup, I'm pretty sure. And you just kind of coat it and it's really yummy. And especially like I was saying, when you're so limited on what desserts you can have, something like that is just so nice to have, especially in the fall or the winter if you're doing it right now. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Like I said, I mean, I felt so terrible that I didn't even feel like cooking a lot of the time, so a lot of my snacks are more on the simpler side. So if you're someone that's like me and you just want something pretty easy and fast and low effort, that's the key word there. I hope that this helped you. If I missed an AIP snack that you really enjoy, please comment down below. I know that, you know, there's different resources now. Thrive Market is an online marketplace where you can have food delivered. And what's really cool about Thrive Market is they have a section where you can shop by diet, and they have a specific AIP section. They have a specific low FODMAP section, paleo, keto, all of that. So even if you don't end up buying anything from Thrive Market, you can go on and just look for ideas, because a lot of the products that they have on there you can buy at other stores as well. Or you can use Thrive Market too. They usually have a lot of good deals going on because a lot of the products are really expensive. But if you want to buy any, you know, AIP compliant seasonings, because that is really hard to find because of the whole nightshade thing, Thrive Market is a really good resource for all of that. So I hope this was helpful to you if you feel stuck either starting the AIP or right in the heart of doing the AIP diet and you're bored and you need options that are fast. I hope that I offered some suggestions that sounded good to you. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because it really helps me out. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.